Welcome back to The Explainer, everyone. Today, we are diving into something that is quite literally a game changer for how we look at our careers. We're exploring the core concepts behind the creation of the video for Day 3 of the Unshakable You series, which, as you probably know, is titled The Myth of the Study Ladder. For a really long time, we've all just accepted this highly specific, pre-drawn map for how to navigate our professional lives. But today, we are going to toss that map out and radically deconstruct the very ground it's drawn on. Okay, let's dive into this. The corporate ladder was built to keep you climbing, not to keep you fulfilled. Boom. Think about that for a second. It's an incredibly bold claim right from our source material. It's essentially telling us that the ultimate professional goal we've all been conditioned to chase, it might actually just be a massive, highly effective psychological trick played on the modern workforce. Section 1, the corporate ladder illusion. Let's quickly break down exactly how this vertical trap actually works from the inside. From literally day one in the workforce, you are conditioned with one primary, overpowering directive: look up. We're taught to put our blinders on, completely ignore the landscape around us, and just obsess over the next title, the next pay bump, or that little rung sitting just inches above our heads. But here is the stark reality of that climb. It is a linear ascent of a structure you do not own. Think about the psychological trick being played on us here. You are giving up your precious weekends, you're compromising your physical health, and you're trading away your mental peace, all just to maintain your spot on a structure built by total strangers. I mean, strangers who probably CC the wrong person on emails and definitely don't even know your middle name, right? Yet we pour all of our biological energy into reinforcing a concrete building that ultimately just belongs to someone else's balance sheet. Section 2, engineered for anxiety. Now, what's really fascinating about this next concept is how it exposes the true, underlying purpose behind that daily grind. You see, the corporate hierarchy isn't just accidentally stressful. No, it is intentionally designed to keep you completely on edge. That gnawing anxiety you feel in the pit of your stomach on a Sunday night, it's not a glitch in the corporate matrix. It is a core feature. The system isn't broken. It is working exactly as designed. Why? Because anxious people are predictable. Anxious people don't ask difficult questions. They don't challenge the status quo. Instead, anxious people will work relentless 14-hour days out of sheer terror of slipping off their current rung. The whole system relies on you feeling just insecure enough to give literally everything you have, trading in your autonomy for a tiny sliver of perceived safety. And honestly, this dynamic creates a deeply troubling psychological state. It literally results in full-grown adults turning into children who are desperately seeking a corporate parent's approval. This whole ladder setup makes us completely desperate for validation. It creates a workforce that is totally compliant and dependent, just waiting around for an annual review or some generic pat on the back from a manager to determine their own self-worth. You know, it's wild when you think about it. You're essentially outsourcing your psychological stability to an external entity. Section 3, the structural flaw. We absolutely need to talk about the massive, hidden danger baked right into this system. There is immense peril in placing your entire identity and your sense of security on a foundation that doesn't actually belong to you. Because when you don't own the structure, you do not control the rules of gravity. The folks who do own the ladder can change the rules at any given second. They play what we call the ruler's game. Just think about these 4 external threats hanging over that ladder: downsize, restructure, outsource, automate. With one single sweep of a pen, some board of directors you have literally never met can completely remove the exact rung you are currently standing on. Your place on that ladder is entirely conditional. And when that rung gets yanked away, it triggers an absolute existential crisis. People suddenly think, if I am not on the ladder, I am nothing. When that artificial corporate structure is suddenly gone, most of us feel like we're falling into a bottomless abyss. Because their identity was so tightly fused to the job title, losing that title feels like losing a piece of their actual humanity. Which brings us to the most critical question of this entire explainer. What happens when they pull the ladder away? Seriously, I want you to just think about that for a second. Feel that drop in your stomach. Let that existential dread sink in for a moment. What actually happens when the thing holding you up just completely vanishes? Well, the answer is actually profound. You do not fall into a void. You land on the earth. It is a deeply grounded, calm, and absolute reality. This right here is the exact moment we can begin to reconstruct your self-worth. When the artificial structure is stripped away, you don't just disappear into nothingness. You simply return to solid ground. You hit the earth and the earth holds you. Section 4, the ecosystem metaphor. And this brilliantly illustrates the massive pivot we need to make here. We are moving away from that fragile, artificial corporate world and stepping straight into an organic, unshakable reality. It's time to completely reframe how we view our place in the professional world, shifting from being a replaceable mechanical component to a living, breathing entity. Let's contrast the two for a second. On one side, you have temporary scaffolding. That's the corporate ladder. On the other side, you have the root and the tree. That is your personal ecosystem. The corporate structure is fragile and man-made. It's literally just scaffolding you happen to be standing next to for a while. But you are a permanent biological reality. You are the soil, the root, and the tree. So when the scaffolding gets torn down, the tree doesn't fall. The tree remains completely intact. So let them take their scaffolding away. Let's actually look at what remains. You still have the solid ground beneath your feet. You still have the sky above your head. And most importantly, you retain your intellect, your immense capacity to learn, and your own two hands. You still possess every single ounce of your accumulated strategic brilliance. You absolutely do not need their structure to stand tall. So the crucial point is this: you are the structure. Just let the immense gravity and empowerment of that statement wash over you for a second. The competence, the problem-solving ability, the resilience you bring to the table, none of that belonged to the company. It always belonged to you. You are the architect of the results, and you carry that architecture within you wherever you go. Section 5, build your own court. Let's move ahead and see how this builds into an actionable manifesto for your daily life. Now that we see right through the myth, what are we going to do about it? Well, if they deny you a seat at their table, or if they take away your rung, you no longer beg for a place. You construct your own arena. Our source material translates this aggressive, sovereign mindset into 3 commanding instructions. Step 1, stop looking up at their ceilings. Stop letting their artificial limits define your altitude. Step 2, look out at your own horizon. Start defining success on your own biological and intellectual terms. And step 3, walk your own path. You are entirely free from the vertical trap. Take a deep breath right here. You are the architect of your own reality. Just breathe in that autonomy. You are completely independent of the old corporate game. Your value is entirely self-contained. That ladder, it was just a temporary rental agreement for your time. And that agreement absolutely does not dictate your sovereign human genius. The illusion has been totally shattered. The ground is solid beneath your feet, and your hands are entirely your own. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I want to leave you with one final lingering thought to carry with you today. The choice is completely yours. The scaffolding is gone, so what will you build now?